Hi guys, previously we completed web API CRUD operation. Today we have to discuss Angular CRUD operations. Angular CRUD we want backend, right? That's why we have to complete web API. API is the backend server and a client is the front end Angular. Okay. Before going to the topic, we have to discuss some more details. This was the app component CSS. It is used for styling, and this is for HTML. We have to write anything you want in HTML code, we have to write here. And this is for testing purpose. App.component app space.ts. This is the TypeScript. Okay. Here you see, right, selector, template URL, style URL. It is used for selector is for app routing. If you are running the project, first it will take access for the HTML. Otherwise, you didn't have template URL means that when whatever you are writing in HTML, it didn't display in front end. Okay, first, as of now, I am running the Angular. Once you run the HTTPS, it automatically run front end and back end. I have to show now. Here, this one is the back end, right? Web API. Now I am showing the front end. Angular web API client. Client is a front end. Server is a back end. The browser application bundles are running. It generates the some URL HTTPS HTTP localhost 2240. This is our URL. Once you run the code, here when you are create the project, it will give by default the weather forecast. Okay. Here now we want to see how to get the details from back end to front end. Here details is there, right? Execute. Now here I am showing these two details in Angular web API. Okay. Before that we have to create one component and services and one model. Okay. Now opening the terminal. Open terminal. In this terminal I am opening the command from here. I will take the cd Angular web API client. Web API dot CLI. Okay, now I am generating the component. If you are any component you have to generate, by default it will get this 4: app CSS, HTML, testing purpose, TypeScript. Okay. Command name is ng generate component. You have to give component name. I am giving the employee details. You have to get in the details, right? That's why I am giving the employee details. Here created was successfully. Here you have to see, right, employee detail folder. In this folder we have to giving CSS, HTML and testing purpose. This one is the TypeScript. Okay. Here I am creating one more services, same like ng generate. You have to give service name, employee service. Through service only we can fetching the details. Here you have to see, right, employee service dot service. One is the testing purpose, one is the you have to use connection, right? You have to fetch the connection back end to front end. This is in middleware they have these services. Through services only front end to back end passing the data. I am creating the model ng generate interface interface employee. Model also created. This one is the model. Here I am writing the first I am writing the model. Before that, what in web API, what are the models you have to write? All the things you have to write in here also. I am copy pasting here. Here it didn't allow like this. I am like writing like only employee ID, just number, integer, right? That's why I am giving the number. Employee name, like this you have to, everything like that you have to write. Okay, I am writing first. Employee name is the string, right? You have to give a string. Employee number, this one also string only. After writing everything, you have to clear this one. You don't want this one. Okay. Before that in program.cs we have to access everything for front end, right? Now here I am writing app dot user core app dot use course. In it we have to write lambda expression. Write lambda expression like a dot hello any header, hello any header, a dot, inside only we have to write, not outside. One minute. Before writing, open curly braces. Inside only we have to write a dot allow user, a dot allow any method, whatever you want you have to write. Now I am writing only allow any origin, allow any method, a dot allow any origin. These three methods and as of now I am writing. Okay, backend is over. Now we have to go to the model, not model, we have to go to the services. Here you have to write, here we have to give the connection from front end to back end, back end to front end. Okay, here we have to give the base URL private. Now I am taking like base URL. Name you have to take anything. Where is getting URL means from backend to only we have to write this URL. Once you have to run the code, they have some URL is there, right? That URL you have to copy paste here. Now I am running the code once again. Here we have to check this URL. Once you execute, here we have to take request URL, right? Here we have to take this URL https localhost 7209/API. Now I am taking this URL. Inside single quotes we have to take. Okay, Here we are writing just for getting the details only, not adding, updating, delete. After that we have to write add, update, delete. Before that, here I am writing the HTTP client private HTTP some here HTTP client. It's getting from Angular common slash HTTP. Okay. Here I am getting employee details. Get employee details. Employee details. Here we have to write observable. Before coming to the CRUD operation, you have to know the what is observable, why it is observable using. Okay. Actually, here we are writing observable means we have to read the data. You have to read the data, right? That's why we are using the observable. Observable any, not only int string any. If you click on any, it will take any details. Here we have to write return this dot HTTP. Here using right in constructor HTTP dot. They are showing methods head, get, push, JSON data, option, patch, post. Okay, now I am here get means we are getting the all the details, right? That's why I am taking the get any single quotes this dot. Here not using the single quotes. Okay, in this here we have to use this dot base URL the employee emp. Okay, dot pipe for each. If you want to render the data means for each you have to use. Here we have to say use a non-cancelable meaning of subscribing to observable for use APIs expected promises. Like this one method is observable any pipe. Now we are using the pipe. Inside this pipe we have to write catch. Any exception will come, it will throw the error catch. Not catch error. See, is there any exception or error? It will throw here only error. Inside this we have to write console dot log while fetching the details. It show while fetching the employee details. Employee details dot slash error. Is there any error means this message will print on console only. Return throw error. Here we have to write error. It's showing error, right? Why it is showing me error means we have to write reference. We didn't write any reference, right? That's why it's showing error. If you right click and go to the quick action and reference, here update the RJX. It's coming from the RJX observable. Click on RJX, it will go to the it will resolve the error. Okay, we have to go to the next step. Here service is completed. After that we have to go to the employee component. Here we have to write for the details. For fetching we want to write the details. Okay, now I am writing the details in employee details. Here we have to show all the details in table format, right? That's why we have to write table format. Table class, class employee table, details table. Okay, inside we have t header we want to write, right? T head. Inside we have to write table rows. Columns, right? Column names we have to write. First one is employee ID. Employee ID. Now I am copy pasting everything. Employee name, employee age, whatever you have to write in employee, employee name, employee number, employee mail and age, employee email, employee age. This is for header, right? You have to bind the data from services to here, right? That's why you have to write here interpolation. Table body, you want to write table body, t body, table row. Here we have to use for loop because we are getting the details many, not one single data, right? We are getting all the details. That's why we have to write for loop. ng for, here in TypeScript we have to write ng for let employee means you have to write the employee of employees, employee of employees. Here we have to write td. Here we have to write, here I am writing the interpolation. Employee of, I have to copy paste also, employee of, employee dot employee ID. Here I am writing, right? That's employee of employee ID. I am writing like this. I am writing everything: employee name, employee number, employee mail, and finally employee age. In HTML we have to complete the table row table format. Now go to the TypeScript. Here we have to write this services. We have to call the service. In TypeScript only we have to call the service through HTML. It will go because we are writing template URL. If you don't want to write here, I don't want to write here means everything we have to write, remove this one, and we have to write everything in HTML. If it is less code means here we have to write, but sometimes your code is some bigger, right? That's why we are using this one. Why? If any person we have to read this data means it was simple. This one HTML, this one TypeScript. If you are writing entire thing here only means it will difficult to read. Okay. Now I am writing the constructor. Inside the constructor we have to call the services. Private employee service, employee service. We have to call the employee service. Why it automatically import the employee services through employee service. Here now I am writing, we are giving like employee, right? I am copy pasting this one, and here I am writing any. Or through model also we have to write anything, you have to write. As of now I am taking any, and G on it. In TypeScript we have to write ng on it. By default it will call ng on it. Here we have to write. Here we are getting the details. We have to write ng on it only because it will call by default. Here I am writing this dot employee service dot get details. Here we have to subscribe our data. We have to show from UI, right? If you want to show the any details in UI, we have to definitely subscribe the data for coming from to services to component. Here we are coming the data. That's why we are subscribing the data. Subscribing employee. I am giving employee this dot employee equal to employees, not employee. Okay, here we have to write console dot log. Data is coming or not, we have to see in console only. Employee details, comma this dot employee emp. Okay, everything completed successfully. Before executing before executing, must and should the selector will inside the app.component HTML. If you have to write compulsory. If you want to show that whichever component you want to show in UI, we have to write that selector in app.component.html. definitely you have to write, otherwise you don't visible in UI. Okay, now I am running the code. Yeah, in UI is running. Generating. So is showing some details. Property employees doesn't exist. The app.component. Do you mean the employee? Here getting the error. Okay, once go to this employees doesn't exist. Okay, I got it. I got the error. What the error means? Here we have to write like employees, right? Here we want to write in this one. Here we have to write employees, not employee. Employees, and run once again. Now it doesn't show any error, any exception. Browser is application bundling. Yeah, here they didn't show any error, right? I am copying pasting the URL and pasting in browser. Okay, but data is not came. Well, here we have to write console, right? Once you have to check console if data is in console or not. In console, is there any exception? Here didn't showing any exception. And getting the two details also, employee ID, employee name. Why here not displaying in UI means we have to check. Here we have to check, right? Employee ID is small letter. E is a small letter and we have to binding with the capital letter, right? That's why I think it's showing some issue. Here I am pasting like everything in small letters. Employee ID. I am copying the employee ID. Employee mail. Everything you have to copy. Employee name. Employee number. Employee age. You have to run 1 second. Now I am running the 1 second the code. That if the data is coming or not, we have to see 1 second. Running our application. Okay, compiled successfully, and I am copy pasting the URL in browser. Let's refresh. Okay, the data will display. Here is displaying two details only. We have to check in Swagger also, in employee details how many details you are getting. We have to check. You are getting also two details only. Okay. Here getting the two details. Okay, successfully details will come completed. Next video we have to see add, update and delete. If you want design, if you want to write any design for this styling, you have to write in component.cs employee details.cs based upon the class. Here I am writing the design also. I am copy pasting from another code. Here the details, styles for the table, width is 100%, border collapse, margin top, font family, box shadow, background color, padding, everything we have to write like this. Now I am running 1 second. Here successfully running our code. I am copy pasting the URL in browser. Here I am pasting the browser. Why code is not uploaded? 1 second. Here we have to give like employee table, right? In HTML what you are giving? Okay, you are giving the class name as details table. I am changing the name in CSS, or you have to change the name in HTML also, whatever you want. I am changing current document. Okay, I am running 1 second. Be careful guys while you are adding CSS, which class you are using. You have to check 1 or 2 times. As of now, our details will coming. Next video we have to see update, add, delete. Okay, please subscribe our channel guys. You have to check 1 second the CSS will apply or not. We have to check 1 second. Okay, now I am pasting the URL in browser. Okay, the detail fetching successfully completed. Next video we have to see update, add, update, delete. Until unless, bye guys. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel.